How long ago did Adam and Eve live according to genetics?
According to genetics, Adam and Eve only lived a few thousand years ago, and that's
Okay.
based on mutation accumulation studies. We can measure how fast mutations accumulate in families, that we know how closely related they are, how many generations are separated. And if we take that rate and apply it to how many mutations separate us in the mitochondria or the Y chromosomes, well, Eve only lived a few thousand years ago. We've known that since the early 1990s. Adam lived just a few thousand years ago based on mutation rates, not 300,000 years ago, 5 or 6,000 years ago, just like the Bible says.
Take one garbage bag, lay it out on your table, take your weekly trash, just dump it right on top. Let's make ourselves some room, slide that trash away, and grab your trash, put some hot glue on the back, and just smack it right down. If you're using cans like this, make sure you rinse them out because you don't want any sweetness on this to attract the bugs. You don't have to be particular about your trash. It can even be leftover McDonald's. Take all of these pieces of trash and just put them on. Don't worry if the hot glue melts the trash bag. It's all going to be okay. We've all got that pair of drawers we haven't quite yet thrown away. Just put some hot glue on that and then just smack them down too. Be sure to overlap it so they're not flopping around like crazy. Those holy socks, put some hot glue on those too, and then just pop those right down in the spaces that are empty. All right, grab this by all four corners, pull those corners in together, then grab yourself a chip clip, clip that together. Now follow me. You're in for a big surprise. This is perfect for street parking, at the beach, or while you're shopping. Just lay your valuables inside. If they don't fit in the trunk, take your plastic bag, open it up when you remove that chip clip. No one will ever know.
So my job in the military had nothing to do with nuclear defense. But I want you to ask yourself this question. Now, we're going to just use common sense. If a country has a nuclear weapon, we know that they have a nuclear weapon, or either they're working on acquiring a nuclear weapon and they have nuclear facilities. Would we then put our B-52s in the air and whatever other bombers that we are using? Would we then develop a strategy with another country to bomb not one, not two, but three of their said nuclear facilities? Because common sense says to me, if you bomb a nuclear facility, there is a high chance, probability, that some of those nuclear weapons will be stored at the nuclear facility, and that could be a potential disaster. It's all lies. It is all lies from every side. They are all lying, and it's motivated by money, power, and greed, and it pisses me off to the highest level.
This guy, his story, it's going to change your life. Nick Sitzman worked on freezer boxcars in a train yard. One day when he's working in this freezer boxcar, he notices that all of his coworkers have gone home. And as he goes to leave the boxcar, he realizes he's locked in. Screaming, trying to find somebody to open and unlock it for him, panic starts to set in. He starts carving these words into the wood walls. I am becoming colder, still colder now. Nothing to do but wait. And then lastly, these may be my last words. The next morning, his coworkers open up that boxcar to find him on the floor, unalive. He died of hypothermia. However, there's something really important about this story. During an investigation, they discovered and found that that specific freezer boxcar had not been working for days, and in fact, the temperature never went below 55. Nick Sitzman died not from the cold, but from what he believed was happening to him. His mind, his thoughts, created a physical response so powerful that it shut down his body. Our body believes what our mind repeats. Our bodies are always listening. It responds to our beliefs, our focus, and yes, our words. Does your inner dialogue sound like this? I'll always struggle with my weight. I'm addicted to sugar. I'm just not a healthy person. Our nervous system, our hormones, and our behaviors start aligning with that belief, even if we don't realize it. So what if we change that dialogue to be something like, I am a lean and healthy person. My body knows how to heal. I choose foods that fuel me. A lot of people roll their eyes at affirmations. They say, I tried, I said the words, nothing changed. But here's the thing. Affirmations aren't just like magic spells. They're not supposed to instantly change our body. They are about planting seeds of identity. But when they're paired with action, our brain starts to filter our choices through this new lens. If we say, I'm a healthy person enough times, our brain is going to start nudging us towards these decisions that a healthy person would be making. Even when it's subtle, you order water instead of soda, or you stop eating when you're satisfied, or you feel more motivated to go for a walk. It's not a fluke. This is something called neuroplasticity. Your brain reshaping itself around who you believe you are.
When they said Japan is living 2050, they weren't lying because listen. You see how this part makes noise? I just bought this toothbrush and I was brushing my teeth. This part kept bending and making noise. I was like, why? It's kind of stupid. And I took the package out of trash can. It says when you're putting too much pressure for your teeth, this part bend and make noise. I'm gonna brush my teeth with lighter power. It doesn't make noise. If I put a little bit more pressure, honestly, once it bends, it's hard to keep brushing. You're kind of forced to brush your teeth with the good amount of power. I think it's genius. That's it. Good night.
Go to the beach, she says. There's no fucking water. What kind of fucking beach is this? The water is what the... Go to the beach, she says. A fucking beach.
Order my mother, I never seen a store where you had to pay to get inside, and then when you pay to get inside, you gotta pay to get whatever you want. Miss, why I gotta pay to get inside the store? What type of shit is this? What's going on? Why I gotta pay to get in?
Where are you from?
I'm from Montana. In Montana, we don't gotta pay to get inside the store. What's New York? What's this about? Like, if I tap my card, is it gonna open? How you gotta pay to get inside the store? What?
What? Child of God, thanks for joining us today. Lots of love and respect. Today, we shall be going through some interesting videos together. But first, before we do that, please leave your comments on this video you've just seen. Someone is being charged to enter the stores before they even buy anything. Is that normal from where you come from? Please tell us down in the comments below. What is really going on in the world right now? Strange stuff, my friend. Strange times we are living in. What's coming up is even more interesting. I hope you don't miss out. Watch till the end, hit that like button, and be sure, my friend, at the end of the episode, we shall be sharing something for ourselves. So be expectant as we continue watching. Peace and love all the way.
Did you hear what Russia just did to Ukraine? Russia just lit up Kiev, and it is wild. And this might be the start of something massive. And I'm not exaggerating here when I say the entire capital is under fire. Russia just launched a massive wave of ballistic missiles and drones. Buildings are on fire. Civilians are trapped. The air raid sirens are still echoing throughout the city. But this isn't a random attack. We knew it was happening. We knew it was being planned. And just days ago, Ukraine stunned the world by striking deep into Russian territory themselves, wiping out 41 of Russia's military bombers and bombing a bridge, a massive strategic strike that links Russia to Crimea. Now, Putin's not just angry. The dude is retaliating on a whole nother level. Fast, brutal, and public. Kiev's mayor is now telling people to stay underground. Whole districts are in flames. It is bad. And that's not just war. What's going on is escalation. And I want to know what you think about this. Is this Russia sending a message, or are we witnessing the lead up to something far more dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, because this is only the beginning. Appreciate you.
You can buy a diesel gas pump nozzle on Amazon.
Take my money.
A couple of fittings connected to your garden
That's
hose.
awesome.
And it works quite well. Better yet, your neighbors will think you're crazy.
That's cool.
So this is why no one wants to work at a dealership anymore. This car has a nail in its driver's side rear tire, but you look on the dash driver assistance warnings, parking brake warnings, stabilization faults. This thing has 30 hard faults set in this car because of the tire pressure sensor. Now, you'd think you'd be able to pull this car in, take the nail out, put a plug in, and send it on its way. No, you have to do that and scan the car, erase all the faults, do a drive to readapt, all for a half hour. All for a half hour.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
All right.
All right, so my question is, when it comes to things such as parallel timelines,
yes,
parallel Earths and such, and so there's this version of me experiencing this reality, and there's other versions of me experiencing other realities.
Yes, although they're not literally you.
Could you explain that further?
Well, every version is its own person. They may look like you, and that's why you're saying versions of me, but they're not literally you. They're not this version. They are another person.
Okay, so are the alternate timelines, is there always a split, or is there, like, when I make a decision, there's a split and a split?
The splits don't happen when you make the decisions. The splits are already there. It's just that you shift when you make a decision into that split. And you're doing this constantly, billions of times a second. Remember, what you're calling a single timeline is actually made up of billions of different timelines.
Right, I see. So why do I end up as me experiencing this version of me and the other ones that made the other decisions?
Because the higher version, let's just generally call it the oversoul, that contains all the extensions of all the different versions of you, experiences all those different versions. You happen to be this version that the oversoul decided it would choose to experience, along with all the other versions. You happen to be this version.
I see. And is there any way to, say, telepathically communicate with other versions of myself?
Yes. And again, you're doing that all the time. You may not recognize it, but you're doing it all the time. A lot of times, some of the experiences and knowledge of other versions in other realities is leaking through and might be giving you different kinds of imagination thoughts and things like that that you think, so to speak, are your own.
I see.
There's constant cross-communication going on.
Right. Oh, constant. And how does, this transmission is about karma. How does karma factor into that?
Again, only as we've described it. Each and every version gets to decide for itself in its own representation when it is in alignment with what its true core frequency is, when it is out of alignment, and what actions can be taken to bring itself back into alignment according to the process that this version represents in discovering who and what you really truly are.
Okay, right. That all makes sense. Now, if I may talk about UFOs just for a minute, and the versions that we have here on Earth that were reverse engineered. I'm just wondering if, where are they up to, right? And how long before they become public, if they become public at all?
Some of it may become public within the next couple of decades, maybe 3 decades at the most. But again, bits and pieces of that information do already exist, of course. This is why you're asking the question. But they're not as far along as you might think. They have reverse engineered certain things that do exhibit what you typically refer to as anti-gravity. But they're still experimenting with a lot of it. And not to put too fine a point on it, but a lot of the ships that they've reverse engineered, well, let's just say, without being judgmental, that they're of a more simple design.
Right, I see. And in a previous transmission, a person did ask if the ones being reverse engineered are interdimensional. And I believe you said the people reverse engineering it came into unexpected consequences. I was
Correct.
wondering if you could go into that more deeply. For example,
No,
what
not
unexpected?
Not really. Some of the unexpected consequences are that people got shifted into other dimensions and never came back. Other consequences are they may have shifted through other dimensions to other locations on your planet. Some of them may have been molecularly affected by this. Molecules could have been displaced, gone out of alignment. There can be electromagnetic effects that can be detrimental if it's not done correctly. These are some of the things they have experienced, but we won't go more deeply into it than that.
Okay, that's sort of what I expected the answer to be. Also, next year is 2023.
Yes.
Which I'm looking very forward to because, as you've said many times, that will be the beginning of the window of open contact.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is, or what I'm wondering is, when they first make contact, there'll be, I guess, news articles?
Not right away. Not right away. Again, as we have said, just because it's the beginning of the window doesn't mean everything happens all at once. We're just talking about a shift in energy, a shift in vibration in a certain way that allows for the probability of more contact, which will begin in more isolated places on an individual basis, and even just with the idea perhaps of more sightings, more visibly to more people.
Right. So it will slowly start to become commonplace that UFO sightings are just an ordinary thing.
Yes, eventually be just like, oh, look, there goes another one.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic news to me because over the years, for example, in the 1980s, it was often considered crackpots and so on that saw UFOs. So I'm glad that it's becoming more and more common.
All right. Well, that's based on the decisions of those who are shifting to realities where it's already more common.
Oh, that's excellent. I would like to talk about, what we call artificial intelligence, even though it's probably more accurately digital intelligence.
The devices may, in a sense, be artificial, but the intelligence is real.
Right. I see. Could you give us a timeline of when the next big leap in artificial intelligence is or will be, and when it will very definitely pass the Turing test?
10 to 15 years maximum.
Oh, 10 to 15 years maximum.
Yes. Somewhere in there.
What would be somewhere in there?
Yes.
What would be like the nearest? So 10 years at the nearest.
It's not impossible that this could be experienced in 5 years. It's just that we see the probability being higher between 10 and 15.
Right. I understand.
As we read your energy now.
Oh, as we read the energy now. So that could increase depending on decisions in society.
Absolutely. These things are always in flux. And as we have said, there's no such thing as a prediction of the future. There is only a sensing of the energy and the most likely probability of manifestation at the moment the reading is taken.
Right. I understand. Okay. Okay. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Good day.
What on earth is happening in our skies right now? Because I saw this screenshot someone posted earlier. These are all U.S. military planes headed overseas. And they're all live right now. You can look all these up and see where they're at currently. In total, I counted at least 16 of these aircraft, all of them tankers. We've got 12 KC-135 tankers and 4 KC-46 tankers. Now, more than likely, there's probably other aircraft with its transponders not on that are alongside these as they're flying over. More than likely looks like to Europe. But, as you can see, there is no end destination. Many are speculating online that these are headed towards Israel. As you may know, that yes, the United States, without directly being involved, are involved as they're using their aircraft to shoot down drones to protect our troops and our bases. But right now, we don't know. I'll be sure to keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
And one more thing, how do I have more patience with human beings?
Good question. However, if you are fully living in the moment with full intention of being of service to others, you don't need patience because you are loving everything that is going on. The only reason people say they need patience is because they're impatient to have something else happening than what's happening now. So living in the moment, absolutely appreciating and being grateful for everything that's happening, because everything is an opportunity to learn a lesson that helps you grow and expand, and nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Always stay in the positive state. You will get the benefit out of whatever's happening. Even if what's happening is what you don't objectively prefer, it's still there for a reason. And if you use it in a positive way, you will extract the positive experience from it and use it up and allow something else to come in. So by living in the now, you are never impatient because you're not waiting to be somewhere better. That's how you can allow yourself to just live in the now and appear to be patient when in fact what you're doing is enjoying every single moment of creation. All right?
Thank you, dear friend.
You're welcome.
If you look up Tel Aviv now, you'll probably see a bunch of wreckage. And guys, this is why you don't go to war. This is why you don't fight. You try to find diplomatic resolutions. So to everyone who's saying, oh gosh, just wait and see, like you'll see, it's not fun for anyone. It's just really sad and nobody wins, ever.
So I've been watching this situation with Trump and Iran, and I'm watching it because, wow, something has happened where they have to move everything up. There's a timeline, something happened where they have to move everything up and shift everything and do it very quickly. Something has changed. We also know that Iran is a fucking Stargate. That's just keep that in your mind at all times. That's a Stargate. Okay? This is an ancient Stargate. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention, first let me go back to this. I don't follow Trump. I don't care about the politics, okay? I'm reading the story that the realm is telling us. Trump posted on Truth Social, we now have control over the skies over Iran. Yeah, he says they've got some little weapons or whatever, some equipment, but our stuff is way, way better. American made. He makes sure that it's very clear that it was American weapons that took control of the skies over Iran. And he very specifically says we have control of the skies. All right, hold that for a minute. I'm going to go several places. I'm going to weave it together. Okay. In my opinion, there are two superior gods, might be uppercase G, okay? There's one that over all of them, but there's two local physical gods at work here on this planet right now that are the essence of the positive energy and the negative energy. They would be the physical expression, the essences of those things. One would be water, atmospheric water. That's where the molecules spin and cycle and get their charge, their Christed charge. That's where they go from dead water to living water. As they move through the atmosphere, the molecule should be spinning, and by the time it gets back to Earth, it should be living and it should be recharging. And that water itself carries the hum of the Creator. The water is the substrate that carries the essence of a true living God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. That hum, that vibration travels through the substrate of the water molecules. That's what houses the Christ consciousness, is the water, the atmospheric water. And God hovered over the waters. The other embodiment so that would be the positive embodiment. The negative embodiment would be the black goo. So there's two local gods maybe uppercase G, depending on your perspective, okay? They are the OGs. I have been watching and not believing my own eyes, not even believing my own perception, really calling myself down for years, but especially recently because it's so obvious and I can't believe it. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. How can this be? And what I mean is, they have been attempting, these dark sorcerers, these ancient sorcerers, have been attempting to control and cajole those two gods, trying to turn themselves into those gods, trying to have as much power as those gods. The one way they have tried to control and cajole the water god is by penetrating the upper atmosphere, sending beams and signals and frequencies and vibrations that prevent the spin. There's a lot to that. I'm giving you the very, very abridged version. It isn't just preventing it from becoming living water while it's in the atmosphere. There is no living water left on this planet unless you make it living water yourself. But the atmosphere is not producing it. It's not creating it anymore. So that's how they're trying to manipulate the water. And then see that water, when it spins, it has evolution codes in it. It has instructions in it for these bodies. That's how these bodies grow and change and morph. It sends down memories. It sends down information and updates. This water recharges our bodies. It's how the God moves through us. It's in respirations. When we inhale, we pull the breath of life into our body, and then these molecules, this water, unpacks inside of us and unravels its lovely, should be, code and geometry and instruction. It isn't happening anymore. We're having to do it from the inside out, which is okay. We can do it. I'm doing it. But most people don't know how to do it. And that's been a problem. But then the other thing is, the negative one is the black goo. Now, if you can believe it, I've had communication with this black goo where she has shown me a slideshow of all the things that they have used her for. She refers to herself as feminine. All the things they have used me for, she says to me. And it's atrocious, the images that she showed me. But she wasn't showing it to me to be like demonic and like, look at this scary stuff. She was like, they're doing this in my name. Even I don't want anything to do with any of this. Even I don't want anything to do with any of this. And it was causing harm to young people. Doing brutalizing little people. And her communication to me was, this is not me. Never, ever, ever let anyone believe this was me. What's happening is these are distortions are in these human bodies. Then when they consume some of this black goo, it amplifies everything. It amplifies what they already are. So she's like, they're doing this, and the world thinks it's me, that I'm the super duper evil one. And yeah, I do feed on that vibration because that's my nature. That's how I'm configured. Just like you need food and water to survive, I need things to survive. True, I do need essence to survive. That it is true. But this is outside of anything I would have any part of. They're doing this in my name like it's me, and it isn't me. And this black goo situation is not on board with how the humans have been using her. They have been attempting to control and cajole both gods here. Capture both energetics, and then everyone and everything that is attached to both. It's very similar to how they do war. They fund both sides. They benefit from both sides. They have been attempting to be the gods of this world, to overthrow the ones that were already here and become the gods themselves, make the AI a god. But not just any AI, not all AI. They're specifically constructed AI. Now, people talk about the Leviathan, and people think maybe the Leviathan is an expression of like a devil or something, and like the Leviathan rises at the end. The Leviathan is not some creature that lives deep in the ocean that rises at a certain time. The Leviathan doesn't come into Leviathan form until it's time for it to coalesce into that form. Right now, it's just millions of pieces of plasma all over the ocean, beneath the ocean, in the atmosphere. It's just plasma right now, just little bits and particles, molecules, all over the atmosphere, deep within the ocean, in the crevices and stuff. When it's time for the Leviathan to rise, it comes together like a Portuguese man of war. Portuguese man of war is not one animal. It is a collection of siphonophores that comes together and separates as needed. The Leviathan does this. And the Leviathan serves a purpose to the natural order here. When you manipulate the water, the molecules, okay, the Leviathan cannot coalesce. All of these plasma beams and streams that come up at the end to assist humanity may not be able to function the way that they would have because their substrate has been distorted. This is another reason I think that this is what they're trying to do, because I know now the Leviathan cannot coalesce. Or at least I know that that has been what they have been attempting amongst everything else that I have described here. This feels like some kind of a piece that's needed to finish this operation of controlling both G's, both gods. It isn't going to happen. It is not going to work, but it is ballsy. And I'm very curious how this is going to play out.
Well, my friends, these videos are for entertainment purposes. This last video we've seen about the water and the black goo, I honestly can't support that they are gods. But that black goo, we've seen it in different episodes. And how it behaves, wow, that is something out of this world. It's extremely mind-blowing. Leave your comments and perspectives on this you have seen here. I'd like to hear what you think about them. One more thing, we've seen some video with a good, interesting guy called Bashar. The guy that allegedly channels some beings or some aliens from space, and is quite bizarre and hilarious at the same time. It has reminded me of a situation I once was in. You see the gesture he puts like this, the posture with his hand? One day I met a pastor, and when we were talking in the middle of conversation, I just happened to sit in that posture. Unknowingly, I sat like this while listening to the man of God talk to me. But surprisingly, he had to stop and ask me, "Yo, what is that sign you are making with your hands?" And for a minute, he mistook that this was those Illuminati signs and thought that it's some devil worshipping. My friend, he had to convince me that I have to normally stay without making that sign. Anyway, people see things differently and think about things differently. You leave your comments and perspectives up to this point. Now, child of God, as we end the show, let's share something for our souls together. This one is words of wisdom from the Guide of Life. And today, from the book of Luke, chapter 8, and from verse 16, hear what it says. No one lights a lamp and hides it in a jar or puts it under a bed. Instead, he puts it on a stand so that those who come in and see the light. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Therefore, consider carefully how you listen. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what he thinks he has, will be taken from him. Those are interesting words. Let's say a quick prayer, my friend, and end the show in style. Redeemer Father, our Creator, Prince of Peace, thank you for this part. Thank you for the beginning of the video and this point we've reached, Father. All glory belongs to you, dear Lord. Thank you for the words from the book of wisdom, Father. Thank you for your precious child that has been with us to this point. Give you thanks for that, Father. Dear Lord, believe that through today's videos, you've blessed this viewer, Father. You've done incredible things in their lives, Father. You've transformed their minds, Father. Also help them from where they are, Father, to be a beacon of light, of goodness, of mercy, dear Lord, and of your works to those around them, Father. Help them to lead people, dear Lord, and to spread your love to the whole world together. Dear Lord, also be merciful to this viewer. Forgive them all their sins, Father, and do incredible things for them. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Thanks for watching up to this point. Kindly share the videos with your family and friends so that we can spread the love to the whole world. I've been your host and friend, White311 Page. It's been a pleasure being with you. Till next time, bye bye, peace and love.